Okay, welcome to this part of the brand mapping method where we're going to teach you how to create the map. Okay, so what even is the map? This is the part of the brand carry-all where we really understand and get to know the people, the audience, and the competitors and the collaborators. This is, I think, the biggest portion of the carry-all and a huge part to the success in your brand strategy, and I'll tell you why. I believe in a brand that is really based off of people because I feel like business is nothing without the people. You can't have a successful business without having people, right? The people always come first. I think there's so many times when businesses have failed because they failed to listen to people and they failed to really care about what's going on around them. And so when you base your map and get the lay of the land, all that stuff, when you base the map off of the people around you, the people who are in your audience, that's when you give your client's brand the biggest chance for success. Here's a few examples. Domino's, a while back, they wanted to do some rebranding, they wanted to do some marketing work, but the people on Twitter were saying about Domino's, the recipes are so gross, I do not like Domino's, and people were saying Domino's was kind of like the cheap, gross pizza of the pizza industry, and that's kind of what they were known for. Even though Domino's really wanted to be this really high-end, really great pizza service, they were known for something totally different because that's what their people were saying about them. And so what Domino's decided to do is they actually, before they did any of that brand work, they decided to change a bunch of their recipes. And then they did a bunch of brand work, and then they did a marketing campaign based on how they changed the recipes. They went to those people that had originally bagged on Domino's, gave them some new pizza, and then they talked about it, and it was awesome. There was also once this college in Montana that was doing some brand work, and they asked the people what it was that they thought of this Montana college that they were attending. And the number one thing that people were saying about this college was that there was just nothing to do there. And so what this college did is they branded themselves, and they took that negative thing and they really took it and had it become a positive thing. On their website and throughout all this marketing campaign, they would show this, they showed this big picture of a mountain, and they just said nobody here or nothing to do, something like that, where they made it kind of a really cool thing. And so I feel like you just can't even get started into talking about who the company is without understanding who the audience and who the people are, which is why we're really going to be focusing on this first. Okay, so how are we going to actually do that? There's a few different sections to the mapping section, and each one of these sections has its own individual page that I'll explain, and each of these pages has their own individual video, so you can go and figure out, okay, how do we really set this up for the best success? Okay, so the first page or part of the mapping section is the audience persona. In this section, it's really where we're going to be taking that entire bullet list of who your client is, and we're going to be breaking that down into a summary, and we're going to be even attaching a picture, really creating a persona, somebody that we can think of in our mind. This is important because whenever you are going to be doing anything throughout the rest of the brand strategy, you want to have this person very specifically in your mind. It's easy to, it's just so much easier when you have, instead of a bullet list, you have an actual summary and an idea in your head of who you're actually talking to and helping. Now, the next one is the path. Now, the path is what I like to call, is my version of a branded sales funnel. If you don't know what a sales funnel is, it's basically just a path or a journey or a funnel from getting someone to not even knowing about who your client is to becoming a raving fan. What does that story and that path look like? And we're going to be creating a branded step-by-step story from beginning to end. Because now that we know who this audience persona is, we need to tell their story in a little bit more detail. Now, the next part is the competition analysis. The competition analysis is broken down into actually even a few more steps. There's about 3 to 4 pages that go into the competition analysis. But this is where you're really just going to be lining up your client against their competitors, taking a bunch of notes and seeing where the gaps are in your competitor's brand. See where it is that your client's company can fill those voids and gaps, where it is that they can kind of push off of their competition to grow upwards. And the last one is the collaboration analysis. Now, the collaboration analysis is a little bit similar to the competition analysis, but this is really just a page and a section that is going to give your client a bunch of people that they could at some point collaborate with. If it's a wedding photographer, it might give them a list of other wedding vendors that are around their same size, price range, style, that they should connect with, collaborate with, network with, become friends with to grow their company. Because everybody knows that in a successful business, you've got to network, you've got to have those connections. And so giving you a list of who, how, and why to connect with those people is so important and critical to your company's success. So now that you know what the mapping section is in the videos below, I'm going to be going through each and every single one of those pages in more depth, anywhere from like a 3 to 9 minute video. I will be going in depth into every single one of those pages. Also make sure to download the template where you can take this entire brand carry-all template and apply it, make it your own.